Meeting is now
We
streaming.
are live on Facebook. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here at Monica Campana series of people helping people around the world. And today we have a special guest all the way from Paris, France. We have Karen Drost, who is going to talk to us about a very interesting topic. Um, First of all, I want to know everything about your background. How did you get into this? It's Ayurvedic nutrition that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Karen, the floor is yours. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I
Thank
want to know
you. Thank you
everything.
very much, Monica, for inviting me. I'm quite honored actually. I've never done this before. Yeah, my journey into Ayurveda started over 10 years ago. That was when my then partner, he got sick, and the hospital and the doctors, they couldn't really find anything wrong with him. So in the end, they said it's irritable bowel syndrome, which is no fun if you're suffering from it. Through a friend and a friend of a friend, in the end, he went to see an Ayurvedic doctor, and she was able to help him quite a bit, actually. And I'd never heard of Ayurveda, so the way I'm wired, when I hear something new and I want to know more about it, I want to know really a lot about it. So I ended up taking a course, and that's how I became an Ayurvedic nutritional therapist in 2010. And
Now, what
I,
is Ayurveda? Because I hear
yeah,
about it and
yeah.
I read a little bit here and there, but what is it exactly?
Ayurveda is a system of healing which finds its origin in on the Indian continent. It's somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 years old. It's based mostly on experience, but from that experience, they have created a theory which is called the three dosha theory. And the doshas, the way I see them, are like energies, and they influence literally everything. So
D as in David, O, S as in Sam, H, A?
HA, one, yeah, yeah, dosha. And
Dosha.
there's three of them, thus the name three dosha theory. And they're called Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And I don't know if you know the Chinese, in Chinese medicines, they take your pulse, you know, like this, they put their fingers there. Well, they do that in Ayurveda too. I can't do that because I'm only a nutritional therapist. But if you go a bit up the scale in education, people actually learn how to take your pulse. And in that pulse, they can feel your constitution, which is made up of the three doshas. So that is, everybody, so to speak, has the three doshas in them, but the relation between them is unique for everyone. So there's no two people in this world who have the exact same dosha makeup. And that's very important and very interesting, because it means that healing a person or helping a person to heal is an individual thing. So you cannot say, you hear people in Western medicine say things like, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. My response to that is, as it is with everything, well, that depends.
Depends.
Yeah. For example, in what I just said, if you're what is called a dominant kapha person, you're better off skipping breakfast. You shouldn't eat before 10 o'clock in the morning, really. And kapha people also are better off eating just 2 meals a day and not 3. Contrast to that, vata people, they should eat 5 to 6 times a day. And then the pitta people are in between there. So it's a holistic science. In my view, it is a science, even though it may not have been researched by our Western science. But still, there's so much to it. Ayurveda, it has surgeons, it has ordinary doctors, it has all specialties that we know, plus a couple more. And it's based on this very old knowledge. So it's not something, our Western science.
5,000 years of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's a lot of knowledge.
Exactly. And it has been practiced for all those years. So that means something. I've also another education in Germany, and there they say, he who heals is right. No matter what anybody.
No matter what you do, exactly.
If you are able
as you heal.
As long as you can help a person heal, you're in the right. Exactly. So it's
wow. And so you have a test, right? That people can
yeah.
It's in the website under we have.
It's on our website. Yes,
and people can find out just from a questionnaire what they are. Yeah.
You can find dosha tests all over the internet. Most of them are, they just give a fairly good idea of your constitution, but ours is a bit longer, more profound. So it actually takes you a bit of time to fill it in. I estimate between 15 and even 30 minutes for a person. And if you take it very seriously, I recommend that you do it with, for example, your mom next to you, because she knows you best, or maybe your spouse, or I don't know, but a person who really knows you very well. Because I've noticed that when I go through this questionnaire with clients, that sometimes they have an answer and I'm like, is that how you see yourself? So yeah, but basically this questionnaire, it is what I use when I work with people. It's my first and basic tool is this test. And it's not as good as a pulse diagnosis, but it'll get you there.
Wow. So you work with clients one-on-one. You have okay.
Yeah. I help people figure out what is good for them nutrition-wise. And well, I don't do only nutrition, but that's my basic thing.
Wow. Yeah. So the method. What is the method that you use? This is how you actually start with this test, and then
I start with a test, and I ask people to write a diary for 7 consecutive days in which they jot down what they eat, when they eat, how much they eat, and how it makes them feel, both mentally and physically, because we have judgments about our food. For example, many people wish to lose weight, and when they eat chocolate, because they love chocolate, I can very much relate to that, they feel guilty. And in Ayurveda, and I think we all know this is true, your psyche is as important for your health as your body. So if you mentally punish yourself for what you've eaten, it won't be good for you. But anyway, that's where I start. I want to have this diary from a person for 2 reasons. One, it is a very good way to make a person aware of what they're actually eating and drinking, because we're very unaware of what we eat, most of us. We just stuff things in our mouth and we don't even think about it. We don't even chew them. We just, that's it. So that's one thing, but more importantly for me, I need to know what the baseline of a person is. So that's why I ask for this diary. In my first consultation, I go over this questionnaire with them, which is 39 questions. Plus, of course, I have some additional ones that are important for me. And then we go into I prefer to take people on a longer journey, several weeks at least, but preferably months, where we meet once a week or maybe once a fortnight. And I will try to do my best to listen to them. Of course, I will ask questions, but I mostly listen. And then I do suggestions. So based on the dosha test, I will create a list of food recommendations for a person, which is what we offer now. It's a paid service through our website for €5. You can get your own. And in this list, there are just over 340 foods in 12 categories, nicely organized alphabetically. And for each food, there's an indication as to whether this is good, bad, or in between for you. And the bad ones are the ones that should be avoided, if at all possible, and anything is possible. The good ones you could eat all day, every day. And the in-between ones, which is the biggest category, there you have to really look at, there's a percentage written by it that indicates how many times a week you could maximum eat this food. So people can work with that alone, but yeah, it takes a bit of effort and education to use it that way. So what I do is I talk with people, I listen to them, and then I suggest to them a tiny little change in their diet. An example that I often use is a person who drinks 12 cups of coffee per day. I don't know
12.
how it is in America, but that
12,
happens.
it's a lot. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I'm originally from the Netherlands, and we have this coffee culture, and there actually are people who drink 12 cups of coffee a day.
Wow.
Well, if you hear this, and everybody knows coffee isn't really good for you, so this person doesn't need me to tell him or her that. But if I go in like, yeah, well, you should quit coffee,
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. They have to.
I'm not helping them.
Yeah.
I'm not actually helping
You
them.
make them feel worse.
Exactly. So what I do is I go like, okay, you drink 12 cups of coffee, meaning you're addicted to the caffeine also. How about you try to drink only 9 cups of coffee a day? And then that person will go, I can do that. And that's the only thing we're going to do in this first week. We change only that, nothing else. I give them loads of information, we talk, we interact, etc. But that's the only thing we do in this first week. A week later, we meet again and I ask, and how's it going with, and she will go like, I only drank 8 cups of coffee per day. So she feels good about herself. She's making progress. She's successful. She actually reduced by 33% her coffee intake, and that's a lot. So we'll leave the coffee alone and we go into something else. I look at the diary that she gave me and I find something in there, and I do a lot of education. I think knowledge is power. If you understand what a certain food does with you, you have the opportunity to choose. You can choose to eat it or you can choose not to eat it. But if you don't know whether it is good for you or not, how do you, on what do you base your choice? And that's, many people have such difficulty figuring out what is actually good for them and what isn't, because we are overwhelmed with all this information from all these different gurus and people who come out with yet another diet that should help you heal everything, which it doesn't. So I'm not about direct success, but I do want people to feel good about themselves. And as long as you're not suffering from something that's going to kill you within 2 weeks, there's no hurry.
Yeah, it's a gradual change. You have to.
But the thing is that changing any habit actually,
it's not easy.
In this way, gradually, you have to look at the long-term effect. Because after this first week, we're not going back to 12 cups of coffee a day. We're staying at 8. And then we change something else, and we change something else, and so on and so forth. And then if you look after 3 months or 6 months or even a year, the changes that you have made, they are amazing, and they weren't difficult. Wow. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, how am I ever going to do this? No, not at all. And that's what I try to do with people. It's called the art of Kaizen, which is Japanese, and which is just simply the art of small steps.
Wow.
But cumulative steps.
That's very very inspiring, and I think this is the way to go. And this is the way to go when you want to change your habits and so after doing this filling up this questionnaire, they get a list of all the foods that they can, according to their
constitution,
their name, their qualification. I forgot the name.
Yeah, their constitution, their dosha makeup.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
And how long are the programs that
It
you have, that
depends
you offer?
totally on the person. I offer a 1 month subscription or a 3 month subscription. You can pay by month, and you can just see how it goes. I also offer a 20-minute free call, so that, because it's a very personal thing, and there has to be, well, like a click or whatever you want to call it. So I offer that to people. They can just jump on a call with me.
Exactly. So now everything has been online, right? Through
Yeah,
Zoom calls, and this is
yeah,
how you
yeah,
see your customers.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah. Yeah,
probably
yeah,
much.
Zoom or WhatsApp, or but it's we start out with Zoom when it's people that I've really never met before,
Wow.
uh, because I've counseled quite a lot of friends too, and that's, it's a bit
And all over the world, basically.
yeah, yeah,
That's amazing. That's
yeah. Well,
amazing.
I do travel a lot, so I do meet people all over the world as well. But for the counseling, you in the end, it's not necessary to be in the same room.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. As long as, but you check on them daily,
no, no, no. We
weekly?
we have a we have a weekly call for most people. Some people, so-called pitta people are people with a very, very strong mind. Those are the people, when once they get something in their head, they're like, okay, I'm just going to do this. So they need less hand holding. But it's up to the person. I recommend starting out with once a week, and then, because yeah, that's basically because you also have to get to know each other and get into a certain rhythm, and also because my first advice for most people has nothing to do with the food itself. It has to do with your daily rhythm, because people do not realize the importance of that, and that's what you have to do first. And it's good to see each other then again after 1 week to see how it goes, and then you can go into some small details. But it depends on the person, actually. So yeah, but I do prefer to take people on a longer journey and not just have, one meeting and that's it. That may work for some, but since I work with these small steps, it's easier to do a longer period. Yeah.
Yeah. So minimum, it should be minimum 3 months.
Um, no, there's no two. I just spoke to one person today, and we finished a 2 month period. And I said, well, I think you're basically good now. You understand how to go about it. You don't really need me for the gritty, nitty details. But we decided to go on another schedule, and once every 10 to 14 days. But that's more, it has less to do with the actual facts of Ayurvedic nutrition, and more with that she likes to have a person to be accountable to.
Accountable, yeah.
Yeah, it's a more psychological thing. So
Yeah, you need someone who checks on you and says, okay, so what did you do? Did you do this? It's like your conscience.
yeah, exactly. But also someone who will just call you up and say, how's it going?
Yeah.
I do
Wow.
that too. Yeah.
That's
It's like I said, it's very personal. So there has to be a click. There will
now
be
you speak how many languages?
four:
Four. You speak English, French, German,
English, French,
and
German,
Dutch.
and Dutch. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you have many customers from many different parts of the world
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
reach.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, have you ever been to India? Like this Ayurvedic was born in India, no?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to one of those centers
Yeah.
or? Oh,
Yeah. At the beginning of this year, I spent a month in India, which was my first time. And to be honest, I was a bit disappointed
hmm.
from the Ayurvedic point of view. I thought, well, now I'm going to be in the land of Ayurveda. There's going to be Ayurveda everywhere. Well, you do see a lot of Ayurvedic. If you cross a road or whatever, you do see a lot of Ayurvedic doctors announced there. It's true, especially where we were in Kerala. But I hear from contacts that I have through LinkedIn, for example, that actually they need to promote Ayurveda more in India itself. It's not as mainstream as you might think. And also, I don't know, I get the impression that many very good Ayurvedic doctors, they go away. They don't live in India anymore. And I think it has to do with the mindset of the people in India, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that well, yeah, I think it has to do also sometimes with religion too. They don't believe that the change is possible sometimes.
Maybe, yeah.
They think
Maybe.
that, this is how it is and it's going to be like this for another,
Yeah.
and they don't believe that they have the power to change. I think
Could
that's
be.
one of them. I
Could
have many
be.
Indian friends, but
Yeah.
they're all here. They all moved out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have an American, way of thinking now.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they, if you have a brain that wants improvement and wants to look, you can't you
Hmm.
can't stay because
Maybe. Yeah.
but anyway, we diverted a little bit, and
Yeah.
it's just very fascinating, this subject to
Yeah.
me. I would talk forever. Um, let's see if there's anything else. I think we covered pretty much everything. So people can find you on your website. What's the best way to contact you?
Well, just go to the website and you'll find in the menu there's a contact form.
They can send you an email.
They can send me an email, but if they're seriously interested in having a conversation, they will also find a page through the menu where they can schedule a call.
Perfect. Yeah. So first thing, schedule a call with Karen because she's really going to. I really believe that this is a way to, if you want to change something if you don't like the way you are eating or what you're eating,
Well,
then
actually, from my own experience, I can tell you. I don't know if you know about the disease endometriosis.
I heard of it.
Yeah, endometriosis is a disease where it concerns mostly women because there is tissue from your uterus that is in other places in the body, and it results in problems, and mostly it results in pain. And for myself, I started menstruating when I was 12 years old, and it was always painful. And my doctor told me, yeah, well, just bad luck. You're a woman. You were
That's how
born a
it's
woman.
going to be for the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
yeah. And it got worse over time. It got so bad that I would, within 20 minutes of getting my period, I would be in so much pain that I would vomit and lose consciousness and all at the same time. And I don't know what. It was absolutely horrible. And when I was 30 years old, it got so bad that I was like, this can't be normal. This isn't normal. So I went to visit my doctor, and he listened to me and he said like, sounds like you might have endometriosis. In the end, that was what it was.
Wow.
I happened to have two cysts big like this, one in each uterus, in each ovary. So I needed an operation, which I had. They took out the cysts and they found a lot of endometriosis tissue floating around, say, in my belly. And I thought after this operation, I was going to be okay. And 4 months later, I was back with my gynecologist, but because it was all like it was before. Pain, pain, pain.
And then you changed your nutrition.
No, he started me on hormones.
Oh,
And for
no.
5 years, I took huge doses of hormones. And that did help with the symptoms, but I didn't feel, mentally, I didn't feel too good about that. So it took me 5 years, but in the end, I decided to stop that. And within a year, I was back with all the pain, etc. 9 years after my first operation, I had a second operation. And 1 year after the second operation, I was once again back at the gynecologist. And I said to him, okay, now you can take it all out. I don't want it anymore. And he was like, okay, yeah, well, I love operating. So if you really want that, that's no problem. But being only 40 years old, you will have to take hormones because of osteoporosis, etc. But he said to me, well, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's do an MRI first. And in the Netherlands, we have long waiting lists for everything medical. So I was on a waiting list, and it took 6 weeks to have the MRI, in between which I did some research on the internet, and I stumbled across this endometriosis diet. So after the MRI, which confirmed that I was in trouble, I spoke to the gynecologist and I said, listen, I want to try this diet first. I can always have another operation. I can always go back on hormones. But if this diet works, wouldn't that be wonderful? I didn't really expect it to work. So what I did is I changed my diet overnight, radically, really. It was very, very difficult, but it worked from day one.
Wow. And
Sure.
what was the main difference, or many things?
Well, I have always or almost always been a vegetarian already. I didn't eat meat. I stopped eating fish. I went on a completely vegan and also a completely pure diet. So no more processed foods, no
Only
more
natural.
animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Wow.
dairy.
Well, I'm telling you, I think this is the way to go.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, we have to keep it a little bit below 20 minutes, and we passed the limit today, but
Okay. I'm sorry.
have to come back. You have to come back, and because I want to know more about you and your amazing adventure and journey, helping people have a better life and a healthier life.
Well, I'd love to be back.
Yes. So, Karen, thank you again. We'll see you soon. And thank you, everyone, for being here another time. And I promise you, she's going to be back.
Okay.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.